customers are pulling in.
It's reopening day in Texas.
Knocking up some orders that came through online last night.
Across the state, many stores back in business, but it's not quite business as usual. Hallie Davenport's boutique, served by Hallie B in a suburb of Dallas, is open, but only with porch pickup.
So how this is working, we have our ice cream cart outside. Customers reserve spots online, so 10:30, 10:35, 10:40. We place the packages on the ice cream cart.
An hour north of Austin, Pecan Plaza in Temple, Texas is welcoming back customers as well, at a social distance.
We're so excited about seeing our customers. We're so excited about seeing our friends, and we want everyone to stay safe. Hey, Emily.
Amy Thomas and her husband Lloyd own the strip mall her father built. She also runs Zooties, a clothing and embroidery store.
Okay, Lori, do you want to see the cash register? I believe we have 3 cents in it right now. Who would have ever thought this would be happening? If anything, our parents taught us we're not quitters.
Today marks the beginning of a new phase for some parts of the country.
It's showtime!
We spent time with small business owners at a strip mall in the heart of Texas, Bell County, which only had 3 confirmed deaths related to COVID-19. We also visited a neighborhood in Brooklyn. Kings County, New York, suffered 3,000 deaths. They are very much still shuttered. Yet these small business owners are all grappling with the grim risks of the virus versus the crushing burden of staying closed.
I know my bubble, and I know that I still hear sirens every night. Kids are gonna make me cry now. I have 18 years worth of friends that I made and relationships that I built through the store. And I think that being closed is totally appropriate right now. So I agree with being closed. I don't agree with having to go out of business because of it.
But today, all eyes are on the state of Georgia, where the governor relaxed restrictions even further, allowing non-essential businesses like bowling alleys, gyms, and salons to open their doors, something both the mayor of Atlanta and the president oppose.
I said, you make your own decision. I told him that. I said, you're not in the guidelines, but I'm letting you make your own decision. But I want people to be safe, and I want the people in Georgia to be safe.
Sanctuary Salon in the Atlanta suburbs has been closed for nearly a month under the stay-at-home ordinance. But today, they're fully booked for 3 weeks.
When the governor was announcing, before he finished getting it out of his mouth, our phones were blowing up. Texts, calls, they all went back in.
Now that they're open, they're taking every possible precaution.
We'll be doing temporal thermometer checks on clients and employees every day as they come in, pre-screening them the day before when we confirm their appointment.
The mayor of Atlanta says the decision to let these businesses open is a deadly gamble.
What I believe is that there are some who are willing to sacrifice lives for the sake of the economy, and that's unacceptable to me.
The COVID-19 pandemic is both a public health emergency and an economic disaster. More than 26 million people have filed for unemployment in just the last 5 weeks. The promised government lifeline for small businesses has been overwhelmed. Today, the president's signing an additional relief package with $310 billion becoming available next week.
Great for small businesses, great for the workers.
Hallie applied for the Paycheck Protection Program weeks ago.
Our application was in review, the funds ran out, and now we stand in a place of really relying on those funds to be restored. So we are fingers crossed for the PPP.
Even though Hallie's store is partially open, she says the loss of income has been devastating.
Now that 75% of our sales have dropped, it's getting extremely hard.
Even small businesses that are allowed to reopen today are in dire financial straits.
The month of February, we had $20,000 in sales. The month of March, I had less than 1,000.
What role do strip malls like yours play across the country in terms of the economy, employment?
My opinion, we're the backbone of the United States because we are small business. That is what I think the United States is all about.
But in states still on lockdown, many business owners with little to do anxiously await the future. In hip, eclectic Park Slope, Brooklyn, Zuzu's Petals, owned by Fonda Sarah, is usually blooming with business. But now, these benches are empty.
We've been closed since March 22nd.
She's been open since the early 70s.
My store is named after a little girl in the movie It's a Wonderful Life.
Like Jimmy Stewart's character in the movie, Fonda has overcome numerous financial challenges.
Our first major problem was in probably 1987 when the real estate market fell apart. 9/11 was a challenge. Hurricane Sandy also was a big blow to the business, but nothing in my experience measures up to this.
She applied for 2 federal loans as part of the $2 trillion bailout package, but has only received enough to get her through one more week.
No matter what they give, it will not be sufficient.
How do you know that?
I know that because it's based on payroll as opposed to lost business income. All of the bills that I have now, my rent, my utilities, they may be deferred, but they are accumulating.
So now I'm on Union Street where my business is.
Sarah Gilmore opened her hair salon a few blocks away with the help of a loan 6 years ago. The stylist's 4.5-star rated business was doing so well that 3 years ago, she took out a second loan to expand.
Yeah, my usually bustling salon on a Thursday is pretty empty.
She was in the middle of paying off $80,000 of debt before having to shut down. Now she's on the brink.
Thinking about adding a bunch more debt right now is not something that I want to do at all. Like, I would rather close my business and declare bankruptcy than take on more debt at this point. It's like too much work. We need a more flexible loan. If our employees can stay on unemployment longer, then we might be able to survive longer. Be able to use the loan towards things that we actually need. We might be able to pivot our business somehow. It's how we survive here. So this is a kit that my clients can ask for.
Trying to make ends meet, Sarah has gotten creative, mixing hair dyes and selling at-home root rescue kits. Customers can pick them up contact-free.
Thanks, Jen.
And then learn how to with her YouTube video.
Edges to keep the wiry gray hair in place.
These sales aren't nearly enough to keep the salon running, but she's hoping things will improve just enough through the power of community activism. Both she and Fonda are part of a group called We Built This Brooklyn, co-created by fashion boutique owner Diana Kane.
98% of the businesses in New York employ 100 or less people. They're all small businesses. New York will be a wasteland if we don't figure this out.
Pretty much every store is closed.
Diana's shop has been successful for 18 years.
Hello, beautiful store.
But like Sarah and Fonda, her days are now filled with anxiety.
If you can't make rent, what happens?
If I can't make rent, I will close. That's what happens. I will close, I will liquidate.
When you saw some of the big corporations that were getting PPP funding, what was your reaction?
Fury and disbelief. And I actually did the math last night. That $10 million, that would translate into 1,000 $10,000 grants for stores like mine. That would make the difference between life and death for our businesses. It's appalling. I could go down after 18 years because I'm closed for 2 months. That's not okay.
You've been in business for 49 years. Could this pandemic wipe you out?
No. It's my life. It sustains me. It brings me joy. It has allowed me to be an independent woman. It's allowed me to support myself.
Now, one of their main focuses, negotiating lower rents with landlords so that both sides can survive.
It's not just a question of forgiving the rent or putting it off or taking half and then expecting the rest later. The economic environment is going to be totally changed.
For the owners of Pecan Plaza, they're working with their tenants to find solutions.
Hopefully we can get y'all reopened soon.
Do you feel like there is this sort of false dichotomy between saving lives or saving jobs?
I feel like you have to be cautious. They need to find a vaccine for this. Let's hope they do. But in the meantime, businesses cannot shut down. There are people in businesses that they cannot work at home. They're not getting paid.
As for their own business, the couple is doubling down on optimism, true to their entrepreneurial spirit.
Do you feel like you can recoup what you've lost?
Absolutely.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Absolutely.
You know, you check back with us in a few years, and I promise you we'll still.
I'll tell you what, you check back with me in a few months.
Well, there you go.
Hi everyone, George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.